Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. We're going to continue our flight into this amazing language. Last time we talked about fully burning, which is 充分燃烧. Today we continue with 充分, 2 characters, but we have 6 characters total, and they are the main concept in logic. And I mean, even if in China educational system, logic was not a main subject, like we didn't spend a whole semester learning it, but 充分必要条件, every Chinese know that's the main, logic concept over there. Okay, 充分, we have again, last time we talked about full score. I translate it as full rank this time. Okay, full is talking about the baby, circular face over there, growing into a full adult with this adult hairdo and a long leg, so long limbs. That shows the growth of human development. So grown from baby into full adulthood, that's the concept of full. This fulfill the whole potential of human development, right? So that's full. And fen originally it means separation. So this number 8 in the middle is a knife shape, so cutting something into 2. Then that was used as cutting as separation, but also as scoring, like we keep score of things by being able to separate things. And 必要, this 必, you can see how close that is to 分. It also involves these 2 elements separated, and in the middle there is this image that's the pronounced as E, and it's a type of a small kind of a stick, a tree stick. So ancient times probably used that as a measuring stick to sort out something substandard to something qualified. Imagine you go to a amusement park, there are rides, at the entrance of the ride, there's always this yardstick, right? If you're taller than that, okay, you can go on the ride. Otherwise, grow taller. So that's a kind of imagery portrayed here. So it's another way to separate out those qualified with not qualification. So I translate it as qualify. So this is separate, this is qualify. They came from similar concept of separating 2 piles, but this with more of a qualification tonation over there. Okay, 要 came from this. Well, we have 2 circles, kind of exaggerated human torso, and here, I mean, this is 2 legs, right, and human torso here, and here you can view it as 2 hands hanging upside down. So sometimes we do have 3 finger hand, kind of looking like this, right? 2 hands. And then this is kind of at the end of the legs, right? So this is kind of your torso. So hand holding like this way, holding your waist. So this was originally the image to portray the waist of human body. So that's pretty visual representation of where exactly through this character we want to express. That's the waist area. And as a great language crossover, in waist, in Chinese, eventually you carry on to the meaning of essential, of the core things. In English world, when we talk about core muscles, right? That's around the waist, around the center, your soft belly area, right? The main torso actually is considered core. So that's a nice crossover between the 2 language systems, and both of them regard this waist area as core, as essential. So we have full rank, and then we have a qualified core, still very abstract right now, right? And then we have 条件, it's even more abstract when broken down. So, okay, we have 条, come from, pretty complicated symbol. Well, this is a contemporary rendering. It's already simplified Chinese. You can see the traditional ones got a lot more going on over there. Let's start from the simple ones. here is a human figure. Let me see if I can find, okay. You can see here is another human figure. And because we have like what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 symbols crammed into this space, right? So of course, this human figure is going to be further narrowed down to the left versus this is more spreading out. So, Chinese language creators do consider proportion, how big of a space assigned to them, and then they will have a different proportion. So this is human figure squished over to the left, and the middle horizontal line, I don't normally see one just vertical line by itself like that. And according to some scholar, this actually means this is a simplification of water flow. I know in Chinese language, we have 5 streams of water. That's the original streaming of water. And eventually we just use 3. I guess 3 is enough. You have a main stream, you have 2 side streams. That's enough to depict water stream. And that's because the confinement of space, right? You cannot draw 3 vertical lines up there. That's just too cramped. So it got further simplified into just 1 stream. So this is person crossing the stream, holding a tree. This is a tree symbol, right? We have a canopy on the top, and then we have an arch at the bottom, connected by a vertical line. That's our tree symbol. And we have the 3-finger hand, kind of shaping like that, holding onto something. This vertical horizontal line attached, it's some device. Some will say this is a fortune-telling device. We don't know exactly. So this is sort of handheld device back then. Pretty sure that's not a cell phone, but something useful, hold in hand, and it's made of tree and used for people crossing stream. You can kind of picture that image, right? Kind of like a hiking pole, right? In the contemporary commercialized world we live in. Hiking pole definitely not made in a tree, but you can imagine back then there's no plastic industry or steel industry, whatever, material science, nada. We can only take it from the nature, simply form it to cut off the little branches and then have the main stick and use that to cross the river. And that stick or a branch of the tree good enough to crossing the river eventually used as this elongated shape, right? And this elongated shape eventually means the ordering of things. Probably back then when shops are selling such river crossing sticks, I would imagine there's no such business because people will just take a tree trunk and make up their own hiking pole. But if somebody are going to, put sticks side by side, make it orderly, that's how this jump further from this stick hiking pole, man-made, all of them are man-made, hiking pole, and then lay it out, sort it out, so that things are not tangled. And if you need it, just grab one, ready to go. So that's a kind of order, putting the sticks into order. Piece, okay. We have the human figure on the left, a little bit more spacious, so can take out more space over there. And then we have the right side, the ox symbol, which we just take out the most prominent features of an ox, which is the up-tilted horns of ox. And then we just use this vertical line to kind of mean the horizontally and then vertically, spatial sense of that animal. And the main thing is the horns. So that's ox plus a person. How come it becomes a piece? According to some scholars, but both human and this main domestic animal, pretty big size, are counting as a unit because it's very recognizable. If you count a person, that means you can probably use it to count a person or count your farm animals. And eventually it means it can be individually counted, and as a unit to mean it's a piece of something. Eventually it can mean actually non-living things. It started from either farm animal or human, right? Living things. But eventually this word is more often paired to mean non-living things. Things like on an assembly line or in a manufacturer place, if we want to count things, 件, this is exactly the piece that we will use to mean, oh, this is one piece, one unit that is finished. Okay, so 充分必要条件 is a little bit wordy, but that's a Chinese translation of this logic concept of 充分 means sufficient, and 必要 means necessary, and 条件 is our condition. From the original meaning, 充分, we can kind of understand, right? Because it's about a fully scored or fully ranked, a full rank something. And in the logic, okay, I have to review what is actual sufficient condition. Sufficient means if this is a purple place, if you're in that purple place, and it is sufficient to say you're also A, because you're both A and B. And if you're within this area, it's sufficient to conclude that you are also A. Or A is also true because you're already in here. You can say you're A and B, and therefore you can say you're also A if you're in this area. But what is necessary? Necessary means if you are A, if you want to be A and B, it's necessary to be A first, because this AB have both an A and B merged in them, but it's not sufficient. Like you need a B portion and A portion, and then make this AB, right? But it's necessary for you to become AB to first become A. So that's necessary, but not sufficient. And the other one is AB is sufficient to show you're also A, but it's not necessary that to be A, you have to be AB. You can be A plus something else or just A by itself. But you're AB, and that's sufficient to say you're also A. Okay, and that's 充分 is sufficient, and 必要 means necessary. Okay, so when we have this, qualification thing, qualified to be this essential element of that. So that's our necessary. That means you have to be qualified as A and B, you have to be first to be A. So that's our 必要. And 条件 is simply sorting out the hiking pole sticks, and then that as put things in orderly, and then we can count into different pieces. 条和件 simply lay out of all the necessary factors or conditions that you can separate, like each one counted, and that forms as your condition. So either it's a sufficient or necessary, or AB. If you are within that domain, you can say within the purple area, if you are both A and B, you are sufficient and necessary to be both A and B. You have to be kind of overlapped to be sufficient and necessary of each other reversely. All right, that's our Chinese translation of pretty abstract concept of 充分必要条件. I hope I made sense of that, and how that's related to our language origins. Okay, cash into the currency of thinking by one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.